I gotta wait. How long I gotta wait for a press record?
Go.
Welcome to the share, where Miss Dream always has a story.
It's Dream, and we got a season 2. Your Black Bostonian here, a product of a single mother who I work to make proud every single day. I'm a 3-degree holder, your veteran educator, your tech entrepreneur, and founder of the Chair platform. My platform is dedicated to supporting Black and Brown people on their hair journey by creating hair boards, connecting to hairstylists, and sharing haircare tips for a more joyous experience. My podcast is about sharing hair stories, educator stories, entrepreneurship stories, and stories surrounding identity with goals to leave you laughing, learning, and advocating. So come in and listen to the stories in the chair.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Aaleyah. Aaleyah, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Aaleyah, and I'm here today to rekindle, I guess, a relationship that I haven't had in a long time. It's been an honor to be invited to speak on this podcast with you all. By day, I'm a therapist, and by afternoon and night, I am a nature-driven, activity-driven dancer, yogi, everything. I try to expand my horizons as often as possible because we don't really get much time to do so in our everyday lives. So, yeah, that's me.
Well, Aaliyah, I've built a platform called The Chair. The Chair is meant to be used to create hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share haircare tips for Black and Brown people on their hair journey to really support them through their process. But I'm working on building community for it. And so through that, I am telling stories, I'm listening to stories about people's hair journey to show that hair is complex. It is intertwined into our worlds. So I'm curious to know, do you remember the first time you fell in love with your hair?
Yes, I do. So, I want to say in 2000, I grew up. This is an interesting story. I grew up, and around me, growing up as a kid, my family, I think besides maybe one or two cousins, have very long, luscious hair. The long hair, don't care era was real. And my hair was curly, and it was not easy to manage. And, my mom always had me in the little pigtails and all of this other stuff. And I remember I was around like maybe 10, and I got my first perm. And I was like, this stuff burns. What is this in my head? Take this out. And I was not rocking with it. So, like the first time I got it, I was like, yeah, I'm never doing that again. And my mom was like, yeah, well, you got to do it because I'm not going to do your hair. So I had a perm from the age of 10 to I think maybe around like 14, 13, 14. That's when I developed my own mind, I say. That's when I went vegetarian. I was a 14-year-old telling my parents, like, look, I'm not eating no meat. That's how it was. So I went vegetarian that time. That's when I was like, yeah, I'm not getting any more perms. Like, you guys are bugging. So I was in a transition phase from the age of 14 to about maybe 19. And then around 19, that's when I did the big chop. I cut all the transition hairs out, and I was just like, yeah, we're going to rock with it curly. And from 19 till about 20, I had a really, really, really difficult time with my hair. I was like, I don't know what styles to do, like what, and no one around me knew about natural hair. It was just always about perm hair or like wigs, weaves, and I was not on the wig and weave wave because I couldn't deal with it. So I had to thug it out. And as a person that really likes to swim, that didn't go too well with me. Around, like I said, 1920, that's when I realized how challenging it was to manage my hair. And I started to look up different products, and Miss Jessie's wasn't doing it for me. As I Am wasn't doing it for me. And then that's when I found Cantu. But that was before Cantu changed and turned into what it is that we know today. So I started using Cantu. I was using their products for a little while, and then I started to learn how to manage my hair. But the way that I learned was by being patient, right? Like my hair in its entirety and all of its stages, all of its journeys has taught me patience and discipline. So once I started to learn how to do my hair, I was around 21, and that's when I really saw it flourish. And I had these beautiful, luscious curls. I probably had like a 4C, 4B, 4C hair type. And it was great. It was all great. I loved my hair. I went to Curl Fest a couple of times with my big curls. I wore a big bun all the time, and it was amazing. And then around 2021, actually, I had went to a hair salon, and I had went there to get, I guess what they call now a silk press. I just went to go get my hair done. That's what I called it. My dad would say you went to get your fro fried. Um, yeah, he would tell me, he's like, oh, you went to get your fro fried. So yeah, I went to get my hair done, and they had put perm in the conditioner. So I had my hair straight, and it was straight for a while. It was actually when my grandmother had passed away in 2021. And for a long time, I was devastated. Devastated. I would never forget. I washed my hair, and the curls wouldn't come back. It was falling out in clumps. I had 3 bald spots in my head. I'm like, yo, my hair that I worked so hard on for the last 6 years is gone. I don't have any hair on my head. And I was just like, I was heartbroken. But what it taught me was to stop identifying with my hair. And I think I did that a lot because I was in a stage where I was trying to find myself. 19, 20, 21, you're trying to figure out who you are. Again, right? Because puberty is when it starts. But 19, 20, 21, that's where you really like, okay, who do I want to be in this world, right? And I had to stop identifying with my hair. So I started my lock journey, and I started it in 2021, June 2021. It was a little bit traumatic for me at first because I remember my dad told me, he was like, if you ever have locks, I'm going to cut them all off. And I'm like, what? Like, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Like that, you need to go see somebody. And then my mom, she wasn't feeling it either because she was like, your hair is short. And my mom, she's actually half Portuguese. So my mom's hair is, it's fine, but it's long. And she's had long hair her whole life. It was just I felt like an identity crisis for me when my hair took a different route. So I started my lock journey in 2021, and I started from the beginning. We talking about, like, I had 3 bald spots, for real, for real. I have a short lock in the middle of my head because of the bald spot. That's how bad it was. And what the lock journey taught me was discipline. Like, you have to be disciplined towards your goals, regardless of what anyone else is saying, regardless if people, they threaten you or they don't agree with it. And that took me by a whirlwind because I wasn't ready for it. Again, we were in COVID. I was in school. I was dealing with grief. It was just so much that was going on that to be committed to something that is my everyday statement, it took a lot for me to come to terms with. So I wouldn't say I started to fall in love with my hair really, I want to say maybe like last summer, like summer 2020. Like summer 2024. That's when, like, the quote unquote ugly stage, if we're going to use that, that's what the lot people call it, the ugly stage. That's when my ugly stage turned around. But I didn't call it an ugly stage because I think that stage is where I grew the most mentally and emotionally. And I needed to go through that process of not identifying with my hair to actually re-fall in love with my hair again. Sometimes I debate whether if I want to dye my hair or not dye my hair, but I have a very interesting hair color. During the winter times, it's usually dark brown, but in the summertime, the sun bleaches my hair and it turns like a really light, golden, rusty brown. And that's usually when I fall in love with my hair again. It's like the constant evolution is what I fall in love with. So I no longer fall in love with the actual thing on my head, but the evolution of my hair. And then I started to look at my hair differently. I started to look at my hairs as antennas, because that's what I believe that they are. They connect us to communities like this one, right? Like, we're able to tell stories, we're able to pick up, we're able to feel sensations and express ourselves through our antennas. And that's what keeps us connected to source. That's what keeps us connected to community. That's what keeps us connected to ourselves. And that is what I fell in love with, rather than the actual grade of my hair, whether it be 4C, 4A, 3C. Like, I don't care about high porosity, low porosity. Like, that didn't settle with me. So I learned to find definition in my hair, right? And with that definition, I learned that, growth, or like the way that I nurture and care for my hair, it happens internally first. So I make sure that I continue to eat well, and I continue to put good products in my hair, the most natural products in my hair, because I'm not looking for growth, so to speak, but I'm looking for growth and evolution with my hair. Like, I can be like, today I'm not really feeling that great, so I'm going to put on a hat. But then if somebody touches one of my locks, I'm going to feel it, because my antennas is up and they register in the things around them, right? So, like, I started to really look at hair differently when it came to where my process was with my hair in today's world. So yeah, that's I guess that's when I fell in love with my hair, is when I stopped identifying with it as, like this thing that makes me better or tries to make me better or compares to other people. Like, I don't want to compare my hair to anyone else. I want my hair to go through its own journey, and I don't want to be tied up in a way or a texture that it's supposed to have.
Where we share stories in the chair.
Look, it's my commercial. We will be right back.
It's more than just a bad hair day. It's a journey. Finding the right hairstyle isn't easy, nor is finding the right stylist or the right products. Looking in every corner of the web gets messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. All the ads, the articles, the products, the videos, it shouldn't be this hard, but it is. And now, it isn't. The Chair. A black and brown centered platform where you can design hair boards, connect to hairstylists, and share hair care tips for a new, joyful path on your hair journey. Avoid the clutter, save yourself hours, months, and even years of research and poor trial and error. Everything you need and only what you need is in one place. Hair boards made by people like you, for you. Find the right products, the right people, the right answers for you, stress-free. Join the Chair community and make every day a great hair day. When you share your pain, you allow others to help you. And when you share your success, you help others get theirs. Lean on the Chair. We got you.
No stress, no strife. In the chair, the chair, the chair. All right.
Oh, And if you're interested to learn more about my experiences as a Black woman and educator in Guangzhou, China, I wrote my first ebook titled Nowhere and Everywhere, Captured Emotions of a Beautifully Broken Love Story. It is on lulu.com. Take a read and see some beautiful photography of mine. Enjoy the rest of the show.
The chair.
I like this story. Your story is very different compared to a lot of other people who talk about their lock journey. It's not that you always wanted locks or it was, this is where I'm at right now to avoid having conversations about my hair. I want to lock it, but then I end up still having a ton of conversations about my hair because of the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And so where you are today with your lock journey, do you feel that you're having conversations with people who are starting their lock journey or people who are struggling on their own hair journey? Do you see yourself being a mentor to different people?
Yes, absolutely. I think a lot of people actually approach me and they're like, your locks, they're so thick, they're so full, they're so luscious. They're like, and I'm like, girl, just do it. Just do it. Go through the ugly phase. You be all right. Like, it's not that serious. You gonna be okay. Don't worry. Everything's gonna work out. And remember that in order for you to feel the love from your hair, you actually have to give the love to your hair first. So like that's kind of where I sit when it comes to it. You know, like a lot of people, they adore my hair, and you know, like I love that for my hair. It definitely sucks in the energy, and you know, like it's great, but you know, hair also carries stories and it carries energy as well. As much as I nurture it with either, you know, like usually when I retwist my hair, I'll use something like aloe vera plant. Like I have a plant in my house and I cut it off and actually retwist my hair with the plant. And I don't put much things in my hair. Like it's just water and aloe vera. That's it. Every once in a while, I'll put a little locking gel on my edges, you know, to lay down the baby hairs because those still matter. Okay. Like we're not going to dismiss that. But that's pretty much it. That's all I do to my hair. But because I am a therapist and I use so much of the mental space, the crown area, right? That is your crown. I detox my hair a lot as well too. So like I take time to either sage my hair or I'll do an apple cider vinegar detoxing wash with baking soda and a whole bunch of other things, whether it be herbs and different spices from like my ancestors and all of that stuff. I put that in the bath and I'll bathe my head and really pay attention to my crown because for me it's not just the hair, it's the actual roots. Like your roots are there because my roots aren't locked, right? I think that's the confusion, I guess, when it comes to locks is that, you know, people think that it starts at the roots, but usually your roots are the natural texture or pattern of your hair. And then when you get retwisted, that's when you start the lock. So when your hair is locking or when your hair is in locks, it's in a constant budding phase. And that tells me like, you know what, like you're in a constant stage of growth, right? So if you don't take care of that new growth, quote unquote, that's what we call it nowadays, your new growth, then what's going to happen to the rest of the shaft, right? Yeah, that all of that energy is going to get locked into the hair, but then it'll start to transfer to the roots and you'll see breakage at the roots. So it's important that you actually honor your hair, but it's important that you honor your crown just as you know much. Yeah, like I really took time to invest and then learn on what it means to have something that connects me back to again who I am. Like I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have the knowledge of what my hair holds, right? Like my hair is tied to so many different things. My hair is tied to you, right? There's times where we was on headquarters porch or you know, like on the senior side and we're playing or we're braiding or we're doing whatever, but it was just the conversation of like, yo, this is the thing that connects us. And this is the thing that keeps us intertwined, like you said. And that form of locking, that form of dreading, you know, like we call them locks nowadays, but they're dreads, and dreads hold history, not towards our individual personal life, but to the history of who we are. And that for me is what I fell in love with, rather than falling in love with the hair on my head. Like, it looks nice, I love it, don't get me wrong, but it's more history to me. Like, my hair holds history, and I'm more grateful for that. And I fell in love with that more than the actual look of what I have on my head.
Yes. Thanks, Aaliyah. Oh, gosh, I could talk to you all day.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Okay, last.
It's funny because,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Last question. Oh, I was just gonna say it's funny because, like, even in the like our, I don't want to get too spiritual or religious, but it's just like the hair was like huli or wool, right? And that's what I see my hair as. Like, you know, like, I mean, I'm not gonna put anything out there in the universe. You read what you read. That's all I'm gonna say. But it said the hair was like wool. That's all I know. Okay, that's where I'm gonna leave it. But yeah.
Yeah. I can see you when you just said that, and I felt like we were back in the meeting room and you were yelling at like somebody about not washing the dishes. Like, I can see the body stance
I
you
mean,
just had.
I'm just saying, you know, like, I don't know, but this is what it says.
Last question. When it comes to your hair journey, what are you excited for as you continue to get older and more experienced in the world?
I think the stage that I'm most excited for is it's funny because I actually had a vision of it, and it was, for me, it was a dream. I was asleep when I had this vision or this dream. And my hair was like, it was about, I want to say, mid back length. But in the roots, I had little silver hairs. I call them silver hairs. People call them gray hairs. I call them silver hairs. And I had silver hairs intertwined into my locks. And then I still had the light brown or the dark brown. But I also was wearing this crown, and this crown, it was a gold crown, and it had like a red ruby in the middle of the crown. But that vision that I had, it showed me and my hair and having so much wisdom, and that's what I see. Like, I see the development of wisdom, and the development of knowledge as my hair grows, as I become more deeply invested into my crown. Because I just feel like, looking at that person, I was actually riding a white horse. And just looking at that individual, it gave goddess. And I was like, oh, whoa, who is that person? Not realizing that for me, it was me. And I think I just, like, I know that time is going to come. I wouldn't say that I'm like anticipating it right now, because I know there's so much for me to learn as I orchestrate my steps moving forward. But yeah, I'm ready for the wisdom. I'm ready to learn more. I'm ready for the knowledge. I'm ready for the silver hairs. I have a couple. I have a few in some of my locks now. But I think that, you know, as we start to age, we start to lose confidence. And I think that, you know, like, this era of being young and fun, it stops. And I wonder where that comes from. Like, people think that after 30-year-old or after 40-year-old, and it's just like, no, bro, you have life, and life, it starts and it ends at any given time for so many different people. You can be born in this world at 6 months and die at 7 months, right? There is no number on when you're going to come and when you're going to go. So when you develop the knowledge and the wisdom and it shows, embrace it, right? Like, and that's what I'm ready to experience. I think that's what I'm excited to experience. It's just that ability to embrace wisdom. Like, I see people in Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica, and just all over the world. And it doesn't have to just be Jamaica, but I'm saying Jamaica because a lot of Rastas are there, and they have these long, beautiful silver or white locks, and it's just, that's so much history. Like, you have history that's coming from the root of your head, the crown of your head, all the way down to your feet. And you're 6 feet tall. That means your locks are 6 feet long. Like, you grew your locks to be 6 feet long? That's crazy. Tell me about the stories. Tell me about the trials and the tribulation. I want to know. And that's where I see myself. I want to be able to tell the story, this same story that I'm telling. I want to be able to tell when my hair is silver. And I'm like, listen, there was this one lady that I knew, and she was asking me about I want to go into that, and I want to dive into that with someone that is younger, being able to pass that knowledge. And I feel like through here, again, we have the community, but we also have the ancestral realm in there as well. And being older and being more wise is something that I look forward to, and sharing the stories when it comes to my hair.
Well, thank you, Aaleyah, so much for sitting in the chair and sharing your stories. And I can't wait until you're that age and you're sitting on the porch and sharing your stories with your silver locks all the way down to your feet.
Right. I've said, listen, that might happen faster than you think.
Thank you so much for sitting in the chair.
Of course.
I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it so much.
Welcome to the chair, where Miss Dream always has a story.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Chair. I'm going to share with you a dream of mine. I would love to be on Sesame Street. Sesame Street held my hand through childhood. In my dream, I would be in my big afro or rainbow braids sitting on the stoop sharing hair stories. I would like your help, please, by doing all the things like leave a review, share it with someone who would benefit from hearing this episode. And if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone at Sesame Street, share your favorite episode with them, and I'll make you some of my famous chocolatey hot chocolate. I hope you have a beautiful day, or if you are like me, still up in the middle of the night, I hope you take a deep breath and rest. Love you. Talk to you later.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Dream, hello. I just wanted to tell you you're wonderful. I just got through going through your podcast. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Keep it up. Maybe I need to send it to Oprah and Tyler Perry. Love you, baby. You are great.
Where we share stories in the chicken